Okay, our case was Olin's Chemicals. Case begins by introducing Oleg Johansson, a salesperson for Oleg Chemicals. It's a Swedish-owned distributor of industrial chemicals and solvents in the European Union and United States. Oleg is a salesperson for Olin. Oleg realized that selling industrial products required excellent interpersonal skills because he must deal with a small number of customers whose upper management is often involved in making the purchase decisions. Thus, salespeople need to be flexible due to relatively few customers and solving specific customer needs. Oleg realized this would give him a clear advantage over the competition. Olin Chemicals plans on expanding the company and enter the textile market, starting first in the US and planning to introduce textile products into European markets. Olin acquired several small independent companies to create a new division, the Textile Products Division. Ulrich finds himself assigned to this new department. The Olin textile sales force from the industrial chemical sales force and the command structure is not different. Olin's created a national sales manager position to lead the 48 salespeople handling the textile products line. This new job went to Mike Page, someone who has worked for the company for decades and now responds only to the vice president. This illustrates the importance of hiring within your company and reducing turnover rates. Mike Page has Ulrich's respect, and Ulrich feels comfortable working with him on a day-to-day basis, even though Ulrich reports on a daily basis to Joan Fleming, his district sales manager. Joan finds much of her sales force conversations to be irreverent and informal, forecasting a possible breakdown in the chain of communication. Mike assumes any issues that are brought to his attention that Joan already has a grasp of the situation. However, most of the time, Joan doesn't know and is too embarrassed to say anything. Issues in warehousing and distribution within the wherever brand supply chain has caused frustration amongst its customers, along with Olin insisting on keeping its current profit margins. By ignoring the plight of the worker and consumer and focusing on bottom line profits, demoralization occurred. When this occurred, we began to see problems in shipping delays and general administrative procedures having major problems. All this can be attributed to an inefficient command structure and the erosion of a cohesive workforce, as Ulrich eventually winds up working for Olin's competitor, citing frustration and communication as a primary reason for resigning his job at Olin.
Our first issue is customer complaints. Ulrich recently noticed a significant attitude change about Olin products among customers and an increase of customer complaints. Olin senior management seeming to ignore and are in denial of these obvious issues. In an effort to understand the frequent customer issues, Ulrich contacted Olin's management and salespeople and has discovered that they are having similar frustrating experiences. Next issue is supply chain. Wherever brands were selling well at first, but distribution and warehousing problems started to cause delays in shipping. Customers weren't receiving shipments in a timely manner and have become upset with Olin as a supplier. Solutions to these issues: Olin management must stop ignoring the issues. They should talk to the customers, deploy surveys, and come up with a few ways to win back the customers, like with discounts on future purchases. Then, to fix the supply chain issues, Olin should look for new warehousing or new warehousing management. They should also find a new shipping company to make their deliveries.
Our second issue is poor communication. with the customers. Communication plays an important role in sales management. There must be healthy communication between the sales professionals and customers, as well as amongst the sales representatives. Poor communication can turn potential new customers away and also lead to existing customers to take their business elsewhere. In this case, Olin's customers are not happy with their concerns over discount terms going unanswered. In some cases, a few have even gone to their competitors. When a company has poor customer communication methods, the company is missing out on consumer feedback. Customer feedback is so important because it provides marketers and business owners with insight that they can use to improve their business, products, and/or overall customer experience. It also provides the best way to measure customer feedback. A lack of communication with customers can lead to low customer satisfaction. You can see an example of this in our case when Olin's customers' attitudes changed towards their products and the number of customer complaints increased. Another issue was poor communication with employees. Poor communication in the workplace can also lead to negative consequences. It is very important that communication lines between employees and their managers run smoothly. Communication builds relationships, including the working relationships that let people within a company coordinate their efforts for a common goal. Communications in companies flow up, down, and across the levels of an organization. Structure of an organization can also have an impact on the communication that exists in a company. Structure establishes everyone's place within the company and also establishes a communication hierarchy. An ineffective hierarchy can lead to inefficient communications between employees and their superiors. In case 2, Joan's salespeople are communicating directly with their supervisor, Mike, without coming to her first. This has made Joan frustrated and felt like she is being left in the dark with what's going on in her own sales force, sometimes leading to her not knowing what Mike is talking about when they're having a meeting about a salesperson's issues with customers or products. Another problem with ineffective communication channels is that it can often lead to stress and conflict within the workplace. An example in this case is when Joan and her salespeople meet, the encounters tend to be very informal and irreverent. Joan finds this also to be frustrating as she is left at the end of these meetings trying to interpret what exactly the salesperson was trying to get across to her. Lastly, communication between management and senior management is vital to an organization's success. Senior management must convey their message to their manager, who in turn relays that message to their subordinates. However, managers too must listen closely to their salespeople who are out in the field every day working with and listening to their customers. These customers provide extremely valuable insight to what the company is doing right or wrong in their eyes. This insight can prove to be extremely beneficial when upper management is putting together their plans of action to provide profit for the organization. Without it, the organization may not find itself as flexible as it needs to be to fulfill the customer's needs or desires. Therefore, a lack of relaying the information that the customer has given to the sales rep to upper management can prove costly to its profitability and to its business relationships with its employees. A great example of this in our case is that Ulrich's concern of growing problems to Mike and Joan has led to no response or action from senior management. Ulrich ultimately becomes so irritated with this lack of response that he decides to leave the company and accepts a sales position with one of their competitors. Not only have they lost one of their best salespeople, but possibly all the business and relationships with customers who he in turn was dealing with on a daily basis.
Now, the third major issue is management. Starting off with the issue of the lack of management and management experience, it is evident that the national manager needs a large span of control. With 24 territories now servicing and supplying the new textile products and 2 sales reps per territory equaling to 48 sales reps, one national sales manager is definitely not adequate enough to maintain a sales force of 24 territories and 72 different individuals. We suggest that territories be split up by region like north, south, east, and west, so that means having 4 regional managers that each branch manager reports to instead of having 24 branch managers and 48 sales reps all report to one individual. Regarding the management experience, we feel that Mike Page, going from 10 years of sales directly to national manager with no stated experience in managing others as well as no training, is really a setup for failure, as we see towards the end of the case where many issues start to arouse. Although Mike Page definitely could deserve the position, it's just a position of this magnitude requires a lot of problem solving and controlling that Mike Page may never have been exposed to. Providing Mike with more training and again breaking up the territories into 4 regions and adding a bit more experienced regional and national managers can only benefit the company in the long run. The second issue that was brought up regarding management is the relationship between Ulrich, one of the top salespeople in the company, and Joan, the branch manager of his territory. It is said in the case that Ulrich would have informal and irrelevant communications with Joan, including jokes, wisecracks, unclear communications regarding serious issues, forcing Joan to read between the lines and try to figure out what was being requested or stated. Also, another issue regarding Joan, Ulrich, and the rest of her sales force is that they keep overstepping her when issues arouse and they go directly to Mike, the national sales manager. Not only is that disrespectful to Joan as a branch manager, but it has caused her to become extremely irritated and upset with the situation, and it is causing her to look very bad in front of her national sales manager, Mike, who she reports to. There are times when Mike would bring up to her attention a problem that he thought she was fully aware of, and she would be surprised by it because she was never communicated to or filled in about the problem and would learn about it through Mike, which looks very bad to senior management. The overstepping is to the extent that when Ulrich decides to leave the company, he speaks to Mike first and then Joan, which should be the other way around. We believe with the first issue regarding the relationship, it is evident that there must be some sort of training that must be applied to Ulrich and the other sales reps to establish a more professional and clear relationship with their branch manager and completely halt any overstepping by possibly applying policies and certain procedures when it comes to bringing up problems. These specific instructions or policies need to come directly from Mike or a more senior management official, not Joan, the branch manager. The third issue that was noticed in regards to management was the level of denial that the management had in regards to the quality of the products and the price structure of the wherever product. They are shooting for nothing but a profitable product since so much was invested into the point where they are ignoring their customers' needs. Their competitions are all discounting the price while Olin is set on leaving the price point the same even after receiving multiple dissatisfaction reports from the customers. With those actions, they have realized the consequences of losing their customers to their competitors, and also it really lowers the morale of the sales force, especially Ulrich, who has countlessly reached out to management to solve the issue and nothing has been done, and in result, some of his best customers were lost. This issue can really pose some serious problems down the road, especially because Olin is stepping out of their comfort zone and trying this new product, which is something they have never done before. We suggest that Olin meet the same price point as the competitors in order to close the accounts and satisfy the customers. We know that a satisfied customer will result in a return customer. Also, since having such a good reputation, is it really worth for Olin to lose the reputation because of one product with a poorly structured price? We firmly believe it's not, and that's why conforming to the market and matching our competitors is key. Our fourth and final issue regarding management is a neglected CRM system that is completely outdated, causing the sales reps to have a general concern and difficulties when dealing with customers. It is causing them to perform poorly when hit with customer inquiries or a planned sales call due to the fact that all the sufficient and updated information is not available to them. Not only is this issue an issue for the entire sales force, it has caused the firm to lose some very important customers and result hurt their reputation in the long run and lose out on those return customers. This could very well be the consequence of the management structure at the firm and the many loose ends within each territory. We believe that Joan and or Mike have to focus the attention of the sales force towards the CRM since it is a driving factor for successful transactions requiring specific data only retrievable from the CRM.
Our fourth key issue is Olin's pricing strategy. Olin's management insists on keeping its profit margins the same for the wherever product line, and they are trying to avoid hurting their product image, so they refuse to restructure their pricing strategy for the product line, even though their competitors with similar products have discounted the same products. Customers are becoming angrier with the company because they cannot understand why they haven't offered any discounts on products that their competitors offer at a lower rate. This has caused many clients of his to choose the competitor over him because of the higher prices. In order to solve these problems, we think Olin management should be aware of the competitors' prices and lower their rates accordingly. This will help their sales people a lot when it comes to marketing their product to their clients and will help make their brand look like they are trying to help their clients, just like the competitor is. The discount will also keep customers happy when things go wrong with their order, like timing or missing things. This will help customer satisfaction overall when things in other areas of the company aren't going so well. Olin should send surveys to its customers semi-annually to see if they are happy with the prices and offer price matching as well. On this slide, you can see before the discount how Olin and its competitors relate. Olin's competitors were selling more because of the discounts they was offering than compared to Olin. After the discount, on the chart to the right, it shows how Olin over competes its competitors by offering the discount and improves its sales by offering that discount.
Solution to question 1 is Olin's management system appears to have a problem regarding communication. The governance structure in such a way that the views of employees do not count towards the progress of the company. Also, the leaders have not established their authoritative position in the enterprise. This can be seen as the employees surpass Joan and report directly to Mike. When Oleg raises the crucial concern of failing customer base, the junior management only listened and acknowledged, but did nothing to change, just worsening the situation. Joan has to decide what is serious or a joke when working with the employees, showing that her position has not been respected. On the other hand, Joan has not raised the issue with Mike and prefers to keep these matters to herself to save her from embarrassment. Mike and Joan has been informed of the changes in the customer's attitude towards a product but did not forward the concern to the management. The breakdown of communication led to no reply, prompting Ehrlich to consider working for the competition. Our next solution to question 2. The leadership and communication skills in the company require crucial changes to ensure that the business employees and customers are retained. The recommendation would be a change in the communication strategy that will involve the direct link of the employees with the senior management. The sales manager seems to be wary of raising adverse issues to management due to their personal reasons. This will contribute to the communication flow that will be effective in the long run. Ulrich was a valuable asset to the company, meaning that his views should have been considered with much seriousness. Also, Mike needs to let the entire sales representative understand that Joan has a crucial role in the company. This will make them respect her by ensuring that they launch their complaints with her first, before contacting him in person. If Mike and Joan can have effective communication, they would present the concerns of the sales representatives to the management and follow up. Our solution to question 3. The administration should have investigated the matter of Ulrich and assessed the cause of the problem. As Ulrich had proposed, there appeared to be something wrong with the distribution system as customers complained of late deliveries. The management should have weighed the options it had in implementing change in the distribution network. This could have eventually led to the improvement of services, and the customers could have regained their trust in the company. Consequently, Ehrlich could have been satisfied that his concern has been addressed, leading to job satisfaction and hence retention. Indeed, the management should have been more concerned and responsive to his issue through proper communication and action to address the problem. Lastly, our solution to question 4. Ulrich should raise concern that he is not satisfied with the leadership style that is being adopted by the company. Nevertheless, this should not be the primary reason for his resignation. Ulrich should express the loss of customer base in the company is a situation that could be changed had the management paid attention to the concerns he had raised. Ulrich should note that he presented the issues to the sales managers but has not received a response yet. This could have led to discouraging him to consider a job offer in one of the competitors' firms that had better leadership and communication styles. This concludes case 2.